Well, hello, friends. Just thought I'd give an update. What's been going on over the last? It's been the last 5 weeks. I haven't really given an update. So I think it was about 5 weeks ago. I went out to a Bible camp. Bible camp is Keiko. Um, I heard about it through a friend that had gone to college with me. He told me that they needed firewood and help bad because all their winter help had bailed, and there was one family there living on their own, and it's pretty isolated there. I've been there before. Um, so anyway, so I decided short notice within a week. My wife and I went down to Anchorage, down to Palmer, and my wife stayed with, Addie stayed with friends down in Palmer. And then I flew out to Bethel, and then from Bethel I flew into Keiko. And I was in Bethel for four days waiting for weather to clear, so that way I could fly the rest of the way into Keiko, which is about 80 miles, 70, 80 miles. And anyway, while I was in Bethel, I got to know some people at the church, one of the churches in Bethel, and helped them out with some projects around the church building. So that was cool. When I got into Keiko, there was one other person that had come in a couple days before the weather got bad. And he had been just basically keeping up with the firewood demand, but was not able to get ahead of it. They go through about a cord of wood a day. And when I got there, there's about an armload in every house. And there's 8 houses that need to have firewood. And then I think two buildings run off of heating oil, which is 6 miles away at a fuel farm down by the river. And so immediately I got into taking care of firewood problems and helped out with that. Got enough firewood put away in the first couple of days that we could start working on broken snow machines, because the snow machines were down. And what I mean by snow machines is snowmobile. And so got to work on those. Got 3 going that were not. A couple were buried in snow. They had about 3.5 feet of snow. So a lot of snow machines were buried. And got them out, got them running. And then hauled thousands of pounds of fuel from the fuel farm up to the camp. And then worked on the airplane a little bit. He has an airplane that had been losing oil, so I helped him out with some maintenance on his airplane to help keep that problem from happening again. So that was Keiko. I was there for I think I was there for 8 days. It was an 11-day trip, and then flew back out. And when I left, they had plenty of firewood to keep going for a couple of days, working snow machines, and then 6 people came in after me. So that was pretty good. Pretty good to leave with people coming. Since then, I picked up a bunch of parts for the airplane, and so we can be working on that. I haven't been able to work on it much, if I'm being honest. Addie and I have made a decision to work to cover our physical expenses, so every dollar that's given can go towards this airplane project, because with how much support we have coming in, it will cover either the airplane project or our physical expenses, and it can't do both. And if it did do both, it would be a number of years before we'd have enough money to get the airplane flying. So I'm really trying to work and provide for our needs, but also to provide for the needs of the airplane, and to be able to give, which we haven't been able to do much of for almost a year now. I haven't been able to give much. So that's kind of what's been going on. I've been working for a contractor. Originally, I was removing snow from roofs, and now I'm doing carpentry work. So that has been literally the last 5 weeks. I've been asked and have agreed to teaching a 20 through 30-year-old Bible study group And so I'm doing that every Wednesday night. Every Monday night, we are doing youth group with our church, Shelter Bible Church here in Fairbanks, and we're helping out with that. And then this past week, we had multiple meetings, just trying to get a mission with our church, trying to get a mission plan for the years to come, to help to mobilize some of the people in our church, but also to step in and help the ministry that's already going on in the native villages. So last week, this past week, every single night we had something going on. I think the earliest that I got to bed was probably 12 o'clock every night. So that's kind of what our life is looking like right now. We're plugging in with ministries here in Fairbanks because we're not able to go out and do a ton of work in the villages this year. We've got the baby coming in July. We're trying to finish up this airplane project, and if I'm flying, money that comes in for me to do those flyouts is not going to go to that airplane. So just as an example, it cost me $600 to fly out to Bethel, and then from Bethel to Keiko, that was a free flight. So it was $600. So that's actually not bad. It's pretty reasonable for in-state flying. It was a 1.5 hour flight, but that's kind of what I'm looking at if I'm going to be flying a lot. Fuel expenses have gone up. We have $4.90 a gallon, $4.91 a gallon here in Fairbanks for just gasoline. All expenses are going up right now. So we're kind of feeling a pinch, and I've got to keep working. That's really what it comes down to. About a year ago is when Addie and I started to say that, hey, we're going to start working to cover our costs, and then start putting money away for this airplane. Bought the airplane, and we've been working, trying to put that money aside. And we've done that, and I think we've got about $6,000 available for the airplane right now. I just don't have the time to go and work on it right now. Just with how things have worked out this past week, I haven't been able to put evenings toward it. And this is the first time that I've had enough time to just do a video update in the past couple of weeks. So I've been I've been doing a lot of tasks and trying to be faithful in what's in front of me right now. When Addie and I first broadcasted that, what our hope was that people would be like, oh, we understand where this is going. We want this airplane to fly, and we'll continue to give. Well, what we saw people that had been giving regularly stop giving. And so that's kind of slowing down the project a little bit with the airplane, but we are still being faithful with what we're given. Like I said, we have $6,000 that has not been invested in parts yet, and I'm anticipating the total parts cost to be around $20,000, and I think we've invested about $3,200. So as far as giving goes, we're almost halfway, and we have about $1,200 a month that's coming in recurring giving. So we could be, if it continues to be that way, it would be the end of the year that the airplane's ready to fly. But if we have more giving, that would really help the airplane get in the air, which means that I can kind of go back to the schedule that we had and really plug in with the villages again. We have openings. We have opportunities in the villages to help out some of the missions that's going on, specifically McGrath, and help out with what's going on there with the building and the ministry, just to the villagers and to people that are passing through. So hopefully that's helpful. helpful to know what's going on. Trying to think what else I have to say, really. It's really nice. We have a lot of sunlight. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have the sunlight back. But I'm standing on top of 3.5 feet of snow right now. So we're still a long way from being thawed out. It's, I think, about 24 degrees right now. We've had some days in the 30s, which has been nice. Be able to melt some of this snow. But it's still here. So that's kind of what we got going on. Appreciate your prayers. And I really want to be careful not to put a burden of like, oh, you guys have to give more. What I would ask is, if you do have friends that might be interested in the ministry that Addie and I do, please get in touch with them and share what you know about us. And if they want to, put them in contact with us, and we'll try to get back to them and communicate with them about what's going on. And then also, things are coming to me as I'm standing here. So I've been on a podcast sharing what's going on here in Alaska, and sharing just some practical things as far as biblical Christianity and sharing Christ, the responsibility that we have. And that's the Reformed Dissenters podcast. And I'm thinking I'm going to have a link to that here pretty soon that I might be able to share with you guys, just so you can see the interview, see what happened there. And hopefully you can be encouraged and challenged through that as well. I'm thinking that's about it. As far as the summer goes, just so I can cast a little bit of vision, what would really be great, and I'm going to show you my house back here. You can see that the house is not finished on the outside, and we've been living like this for the last 2 years. And really, the reason that we've done this is our priority is not the way that we live. Our priority is the way that we serve and the ability that we have to serve. So you can see behind me, this house is completely unfinished on the outside. The garage is completely unfinished on the inside. So there's some insulation, but there needs to be in-floor heat and stuff like that before next winter. And I'd really like to have it done before the baby comes in July. Now what that means is come June, when I think the snow will be gone, because we have so much snow. I mean, we've got April and May really to lose this much snow, which I think we will. But I think June is when the project is going to really come full swing, because we'll have enough put away because of the work that I've been doing to be able to build this. But I'd really like to finish that, make it into a utility room and a pantry for my wife, because she really needs that. Inside the utility room, I'd like to have a shower. We do not have a shower in our house. We just have a kitchen sink that empties into a 5-gallon bucket. And then that bucket I take out and I toss it out. So we don't even have a gray water system. So I'd like to get that floor done, get in-floor heat, get a drainage system so that my wife doesn't have to put up with a 5-gallon bucket. And then we can take showers in our house. We've been taking our showers at a friend's place for really about the last 6 months. He's been really kind in opening his home to us, just so we can come take showers and get our clothes washed. It's been really kind of him. So that's what's kind of going on with that project. The airplane project, it would be really cool to have that finished up before July as well, so that way I can move the airplane out and take it right to the airport. I'm being honest with you right now. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with where we're at financially on the airplane project. So I'd really like your prayers for that. And also, if you could share what's going on with some of your friends, that would be really cool. And then I'm trying to think. I think there's a couple other things. I'm trying to get it all in one, all in one shot for this video. I'm kind of blanking on it though. So those are the two main projects that we have going on with the house. Oh, and I'd really like to get the outside finished. So I'd really like to put rough cut timber on it because I think this is probably the last year that the plywood will hold up. So I'd really like to get the outside finished on our house. And the goal with our house is also to actually be able to have people over. Oh, that's what it was. So it's that outside, and then our road is terrible. That's no understatement. We ended up in a bank of snow on the way up the hill yesterday. And the lower road is impassable right now because of a snowbank that was pushed there by somebody with a snowplow, which it's actually really nice that we had somebody plow the road, because otherwise it's one of the neighbors does it with a push snowblower. But I'm just gonna walk out here to the road so you can kind of see. And there's been a moose down the road here, but this here is all ice and swampy, and then you can see that big bank of snow that we can't get through with the car. And if I turn around, you can see our road kind of goes up like so. I think that's it right there, I'm not sure, but it's way steeper than it looks. It is way steeper than it looks, and it's really slippery. So what I'd really like to do is I'd like to get a machine in here. I can run an excavator, but if I could get a machine in, then I could basically unplug the hydraulic pressure that's on the upside of the road, on the lower road, and then it won't flood in the winter, so we'll be able to drive out that way, which would really be nice. So those are the 3 things I'd really like to have done this summer, just so we can live, just so that way I can, if that have the airplane finished at least enough, then I can pull it out, so that way I can finish the utility room, hopefully before the baby comes. And then before winter, I'd like to have that road finished. Guys, when it comes down to it, like I said, all the money that we have coming in is going toward ministry. So it's all going to the airplane, or it's all going to ministry expenses that we have. I am working to cover the expenses that we have with the house, and the road. That's it's just how we have to live right now. We're thankful for the support that we've been given, just for the ministry expenses. And the reason that I'm staying here, the reason that Addie and I are still here, the Apostle Paul talked about how he endured hunger, and we're not in a situation where we're hungry right now. But he talked about how he worked tirelessly and worked night and day, covered his expenses, and then plugged in and ministered to people. And the way that I saw it was I really had 2 choices. I had the choice of stay here and work and continue to plug into the community and make connections inside the community, or leave, come back to the lower 48 and interact with people and share what's going on and raise more support. And I just really sense that, especially with the community that's up here and what they respect, it's best for me to stay. And it's best for me to continue to work forward in whatever situation that we're in, and try to share the gospel, plug in with some of the ministries that are here, and just work to the best of my ability to cover our expenses, and work hard on the projects that we have, so that we can be a better service in years to come. But yeah, that's where we're at. This is what's going on. Hopefully this is helpful, and I didn't dump too much information, or make it a scattered video, which I feel like it might be. But yeah, hopefully it's helpful. Feel free to get in touch with me. I'll try to get back to you. We are 4 hours later than the East Coast. So let me restate that. So if it's 9 o'clock there, it's 5 o'clock here. So we're 5 hours earlier, I guess is what you'd say. So whenever it's 9 o'clock at night there, it's going to be 5 o'clock in the evening here. So that's the time difference. But yeah, please keep us in your prayers, and I'll try to keep you updated as best I could. My goal at the beginning of this year was to send out a video or a written update every couple of weeks, and obviously that hasn't happened, so I'm sorry about that, but we'll try to keep things coming. Thank you.